welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast. Today, we're going to uncover the top 7 foods and drinks that you should start consuming today to live a longer life. We're talking about life expectancy, longevity, lifespan. How do we increase our lifespan or longevity, life expectancy? What are foods that have been shown in data to support a longer life? There's these groups of people called blue zones that are studied, and the foods they eat and the culture they live in, the relationships they have, and the spirituality all shows itself to say, hey, these guys are living longer than most people. What are they doing? We're going to uncover those foods that they're consuming that you may not be consuming today. So stick with it. We're going to kind of get into this for about 15 minutes and give you some power-packed information. Thanks for listening. Truly, from the bottom of our hearts, from everyone at the Real Health Co., thanks for listening to the Real Health Co. podcast. Our goal, our vision is to add as much value in the shortest period of time to help you in your health journey. If there's anything we could ever do for you, feel free to reach out. Go to realhealthco.com and let us know how we can serve you. Well, let's get to it. What's the number one food that we should start with consuming on a day-to-day basis? The first food I want to talk about is fermented foods. So specifically kimchi, sauerkraut. These are rich sources of living organisms, what we call probiotics, which really diversify the gut microbiome. The gut needs 2 things to be healthy in terms of bacterial load. It needs quantity and diversity. And when we have both, we're going to reduce the inflammation levels. We're going to drive a stronger immune system. And it is a key factor actually in heart disease. Probiotics can directly decrease heart disease outcomes. So when we look at kimchi, evidence shows that kimchi specifically can lower LDL, improve your HDL, reduce blood pressure, and improve your fasting glucose levels. These will all help you live longer. When we look at kimchi or even sauerkraut, studies show that fermented diets, they boost microbiome diversity and then therefore reduce inflammation, which reduces your cardiovascular risk. One of my favorite things to consume on a day-to-day basis, fermented foods, kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha. These are all living beverages and foods that can make a huge impact in your overall health. If you haven't started yet, just get a spoonful of kimchi or a sauerkraut, whatever it is, and start consuming it daily. Number 2, let's talk about a superpower food, and that is mushrooms. Mushrooms are such a great food for your immune system. Mushrooms possess strong antiviral and compounds that are what we call immune modulatory. So they modulate your immune system to make it stronger and more robust. Seaweed, mushrooms and seaweed, I'm kind of collectively putting them into a single category. But seaweed delivers unique fiber that you don't really get anywhere else, and actually a high load of minerals that help with vascular function. So when we think about cardiovascular disease as a second driver, as a second leading cause of death in the United States, we need to reduce inflammation levels. We need to help create a more robust, healthy heart. And how do we do that? Mushrooms and seaweed. These can significantly help your health, not just from an immune standpoint, but also from a cardiovascular standpoint. People, like if you look at blue zones, these blue zones where people are eating seaweed, they live longer. Seaweed-rich diets, like in Japan, Korea, they are tied directly to an exceptional lifespan. So when thinking about consuming fermented foods, think about maybe consuming fermented foods like kimchi that already has seaweed tied into it. You kind of get a 2-for-1 there. Number 3, wild-caught cold water fish. Without question, this is a lifespan, a life expectancy boost. When you look at blue zones, you study population groups that live longer, they consume fatty fish. and they consume this cold water wild fatty fish. It is full of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA, which is great for the cardiovascular system, great for reducing inflammation, and DHA, which is a brain-boosting fat. When you are thinking about the menu for the week, make sure at least once a week, preferably twice a week, we are consuming cold water, wild salmon. It's one of the best foods for life expectancy. And number 4, extra virgin olive oil. Again, when looking at blue zones, these groups of people, like the Mediterranean diet, consume a ton of extra virgin olive oil. This particular fat, which is a monounsaturated fat, is so rich in polyphenols that it reduces inflammation and helps the cardiovascular system. Every cell in your body is fat. You need fat to survive. You need fat for hormones. You need fat for your brain. The right fat is so important. Actually, consuming monounsaturated fat like extra virgin olive oil, it reduces cardiovascular risk. It actually helps you balance your blood glucose levels, and it reduces fat. It actually helps you burn fat. Consuming fat helps you burn fat. Mediterranean diets, consistently, when they're studied, show lower cardiovascular risk and improved survival, longer lives, healthier lives. So what do? We find a high quality extra virgin olive oil. How do you know if it's high quality? Well, we usually spend more money. And number 2, if you're still unsure, put it in the fridge. If that olive oil hardens or congeals, it has been stripped and mixed with usually canola oil or some other bad oil. It is very important that you buy organic extra virgin olive oil. And yeah, it's going to be pricey comparatively to your canola oil or any other type of highly processed oil. Number 5, every day I want you to consume some high antioxidant fruits. Fruits are so powerful, specifically low glycemic, high fiber fruits. Which ones am I talking about? Berries. Blueberries. If you just look at the blueberries and what's in them, you would consume them every day. I love consuming frozen blueberries for dessert every night. So after dinner, just get a little bowl of frozen blueberries, put a little honey on it, and it's just like ice cream to me. Blueberries in the morning, strawberries in the afternoon, doesn't matter, but consuming organic berries are rich in polyphenols and antioxidants that fight inflammation and oxidative stress or harm being done to your cells. They also support vascular function, which is a key component to a healthy cardiovascular system. Studies link berry consumption to lower inflammation and a 16% reduction in all-cause mortality. Let's start consuming some berries. Hey, when you look at the Dirty Dozen, berries are at the top of the list. Make sure they're organic. Okay, it's not even worth buying conventional berries. Number 6, we're going to move into a beverage, green tea. Specifically, my preference is Japanese green tea. Green tea is packed full of an antioxidant. We call it EGCG, but it's a polyphenol that reduces cholesterol levels, reduces blood pressure, reduces stroke, reduces heart disease risk. Actually, habitual green tea drinkers live on average 1.3 years longer and have up to 20% lower risk of cardiovascular disease and stroke. Green tea is an incredible polyphenol antioxidant beverage that will supercharge your health and help you live longer. One of my favorite types of green tea is Japanese green tea, specifically something called Gyokuro. I was so passionate about it one time that I literally ordered 10 kilos of green tea from a small Japanese farmer, wired him money. Gosh, and it showed up, fortunately, a couple weeks later on my front doorstep. It was incredible. I'm a green tea connoisseur for sure. And and I'm pretty passionate about it. Number 7, another beverage. I was talking to a friend today, and he was like, "Thank you so much for turning me on to this beverage." What beverage am I talking about? It's yerba mate. Yerba mate is a potent antioxidant-filled tea. It's actually technically an herb, but it's consumed like a tea. It is full of polyphenols, and it's the same thing with green tea. Reduces LDL, triglycerides, blood pressure, blood sugar. Actually, there was a study that showed yerba mate reduced LDL cholesterol by up to 18%. And obviously, fewer cardiovascular disease cases in frequent consumers. Most people know Huberman pretty well. He consumes 600 to 800 milligrams of caffeine from yerba mate every single day. In Argentina, in South America, yerba mate is consumed all day, every day. It is a fantastic tea. It hits different than coffee, which I like. It doesn't get you overstimulated. It provides good, clean energy, and then allows you to stay focused without getting jittery. Yerba mate is a game changer for me. I use it as a French press, brew it through a French press method, and then drink it and sip on it throughout the morning and afternoon. Yerba mate is a game changer. When we look at a standard American diet, we can see why we live shorter lives. It's full of bad fats, sugar, artificial sweeteners, dyes, food colorings, poor protein, lack of vegetables, no polyphenols coming in from fruits and vegetables. The protein is completely toxic when you look at how it's been raised, and so when you just incorporate a couple of these foods and beverages, it can be life-changing. It not only increases your lifespan and life expectancy, but we're reducing all-cause mortality. We're reducing cardiovascular risk. So whether it's berries, cold water fish, whether it's green tea, let's start incorporating these foods and beverages into our everyday life so that we can live longer, healthier, and more robust life. Hey, thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Health Podcast. Our passion is to add value to your healthcare journey. Anything that we do, we want to do it within a community to help as many people as possible. Thanks for listening to episodes of the Real Health Podcast. If you could subscribe, and you can share, it would help our mission to reach as many people with real health that produces real results for real people.